Hi, friends. I hope you're having a good Thursday. I was reading an article the other day about the current types of losses that we are experiencing, and I don't need to enumerate them. You know them. They are, I think, front and center in your view, in your life. But this article was talking about the impending financial crisis and how his experience is that people's vision has shifted from the current losses that we've been really immersed in for the past 8-9 weeks, and the movement toward anticipating the next stage of losses, the next type of losses, and how that will impact us. And again, mostly he's talking about the financial losses as we try and figure out how to navigate this virus for months instead of weeks. When I experience those levels of losses myself, it's always important for me to take time every once in a while and just grieve them, because we are letting go of wishes and dreams and expectations pretty constantly, I would say, over these past weeks. It reminds me of the beautiful hymn, What a Friend We Have in Jesus. There's one of the verses that I like. Have we trials and temptations? Is there trouble anywhere? And in these days, I think, my goodness, there's trouble everywhere. And we must surround those troubles with prayer and care for our brothers and sisters and our neighbors, because otherwise it would just be overwhelming. And I think it would make us feel powerless. So for me, when I have experience of loss and grieve that loss, then for me it's about action and trying to move into doing something that will bring light or life or goodness, love into the world. It got me thinking again about our expectations. Those of us who have experienced some degree of privilege in our lives might have a tendency to expect that we could continue to expect those privileges no matter what's happening around us. And that's simply not true. I take great comfort in thinking of other times when suffering has been much more widespread across the globe, like these times, as opposed to the kind of peace and prosperity many of us have been living in for much of our lives. And so I was trying to think of what is it, what says for me what God will give us. How will God take care of us in this time? And I remembered an old poem that's a favorite of mine. I'm sure you would have heard it. It's very old, and I could not find an author or writer of this poem, but I'd like to share it with you. God has not promised skies always blue, flower-strewn pathways our whole lives through. God has not promised sun without rain, joy without sorrow, peace without pain. But God has promised strength for the day, rest for the labor, light for the way, grace for the trials, help from above, unfailing sympathy, undying love. So I'm encouraging you to take some of the rest and grace that God gives us each day. I'm always remembering Lamentations 3, God's grace, God's mercies are new every morning. And so take rest in the grace and mercies of today and trust that God's grace and mercies will be with you each day as we move forward. Take good care. Talk to you soon.